All right, so what the students always say is, well, I'm a poor student. All right, but, you know, you can afford to order that pizza every night. You know, if you were a poor student, you could eat macaroni and cheese, too, for 30 cents a box. But you can afford a $20 pizza, but you can't give the driver $2 or $3, you know, for bringing it out to you at 4 in the morning. And don't even get me started on, you know, these kids, obviously, who use that as an excuse. They're drunk and stoned 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and I'm sure that's not cheap. It's a lot more expensive than giving a driver $2 or $3.
Alrighty. You could introduce yourself, name, age, college, work experience.
My name is Nico. I'm 39 years old. Got an undergrad degree from the University of Michigan and a law degree from Chicago Kent College of Law. Practiced law for 12 years, and here I am.
Greg Lingo, 35, Penn State grad, work experience. I have this as a second job. I also work for a furniture company. It's like a extra cash kind of job.
I'm Anthony Ruane. I work for Wings Over Happy Valley. I've delivered for them for about 7 months. I'm a junior at Penn State, geography major. Usually work 2 to 3 days a week.
I'm Dave. I work at Ritelli's Pizza and Pasta as a delivery driver. Usually work 4 nights a week, a few hours at a time. It's not a bad job at all.
My name is Alex Rampula. I'm a delivery driver in State College, Pennsylvania, the place where dreams are made.
Are you a Penn State student?
I used to be a Penn State student. I am 12 credits shy and haven't figured out the means to finish my education. No tip. So you've witnessed like 3 today. No tip. $18 order, 0 tip. Thanks, man.
How much did you get there?
That was $1.80. Usually averages around $2. But if you take 5, 6 at a time, it actually works out. Like we have here.
Like, the rule of thumb is usually you make anywhere from $10 to about $14 an hour in tips. And then you get the hourly wage.
Right. So then how many deliveries would that be?
Usually I get about 50 deliveries in a night if it's more than like an 8 or 9 hour shift. On a weekend I usually get 50 or more deliveries. On a weekday I'll probably get anywhere from 30 to 40.
I'm actually scared of the Wings Over drivers. I've never seen one going under 45 in town. They're flying everywhere. But then again, that's part of their appeal. They want to get you their food as fast as possible, and I've ordered Wings Over and gotten it within 6 minutes. It's amazing, but I don't know how long they can keep drivers and just not get pulled over.
I mean, one thing I think people don't know about Wings Over delivery drivers particularly is how many deliveries we do a night and how much it affects us when people take a while to come to the door and that sort of thing.
Hey, how's it going? Oh, it's a crazy elevator ride, man, let me tell you. There you go, you're all set.
Tips on the card.
Yes, it is.
Thanks, man.
Yep.
How much did he give you?
$2.
Ritelli's is open. We take orders until 10, but we'll cook after that if they put in the order at about 9:55.
Okay, so you deliver until around like 10:30?
Around 10:30, yeah.
Is that on the weekends too?
Yep. We do 10 o'clock every night.
So you don't really deliver to the late night crowd?
No, not really. Which is kind of a good thing from what I understand.
The what street?
Garter Street stairs.
Garter Street stairs. So you can give me a slice of pizza? No.
not my pizza.
Throughout the day, there's people that are drunk, definitely. But by the time you get like to 11 o'clock, I mean, there's rarely anybody that orders that is not drunk to some point.
Going up!
We're going up!
I guess you're everybody's friend tonight.
Whoa.
I'm nobody's
Wow!
Like 35-40% are fucked up to some degree when I'm delivering. I think that actually might have something to do with why they're getting delivery, because they're fucked up. That's another reason. If I didn't mention that before, like what causes people to get delivery, it's definitely bad. And that's being generous. In some nights, I bet it's like 75%, or just obliterated. Like they're so fucked up, they order their food, put it on their car, and then they don't get it, and they don't get it all night. And they don't even call back to ask where it is because they don't remember ordering it. So
They just lost money.
yeah, they don't care. It's not theirs. So it's Lion Cash. You can almost guarantee everyone paying with Lion Cash, it's not their money.
Basically just something I came up with back here, if you can see that, in the fall of 2009. I wanted to know, how much extra money I was making with my second job. So I started recording the tips I make daily in that column there, and then how much I get paid. As you can see, it's like a 10-hour shift, so I'm making minimum wage pay there. And then so my total compensation, and I just broke it up daily and weekly, so I could say here that when I first started recording it, I made an extra $300 that week, which just a nice little extra chunk of change. And then after a couple weeks, I expanded and decided, hey, I want to track how many deliveries I did in a night, how much sales in pizza. And then I compiled some averages over here. Every shift, back in the fall of 2009, averaging $152. I was doing 23 stops a night. Tip-based jobs, people who don't appreciate the service they're getting and don't realize that, I don't know how many people know that waitresses make $2.50 an hour. How many people know that, we're going to 2 frat houses today. How many people know that most delivery drivers don't make minimum wage? They rely on those tips. This is another key one, is the tip percentage. If I'm doing $326 this semester, average sales per shift, that 24% is what I take home of that. On average, I'm making 24%. 24% is good. You get a 5% commission, so that means you made like 19% in tips. 20. We always say 25 is good, 20 is bad. So if 25 is good, if you're going to average 24 for a whole semester, that means you had a lot of good nights. But as we move forward, you'll see now we're down to 23% in the fall of 2010. If I jump forward to this semester, I'm at 22%. It's like I was saying, in the last year, tip percentages have just dropped off.
I mean, when I order a delivery, the driver gets $10 every time, regardless of how much I order or how long it takes him to bring it. But the dorms, for the most part, you get a lot of $1, $2 is your best case scenario. Once in a while, you get somebody throws you that $4 or $5 tip, but that's very rare at a dorm. And frat houses as well generally don't tip well. Again, they surprise you sometimes. There's exceptions, but for the most part, you're never gonna get more than $2 at a frat house or a dorm. Only very rarely.
What type of person would you say is your most common customer?
What type of person?
Yeah, how would you describe them?
Can I say douchey?
The worst by far was it was probably a football game. I don't recall. I think it must have been a football game. But obviously a lot of drunks in the street, and I stopped over on East Beaver. I stopped in the parking lot, ran to a house, deliver a pizza, and I saw 2 guys walking in the parking lot. Obviously drunk out of their minds.
Like, hey man, could you step out of my way? Because I was sitting there waiting for him. He's like talking to his girlfriend. And nothing. And, I beep again, and he leans in my window and
Fuck you, asshole!
And some girl was pretty drunk, and she ended up just getting in the back seat of my car and passing out.
And all of our friends were like, fuck him, just tell him, just lie to him, who cares, just screw him.
Never really had a problem with a drunk customer.
And being the fucking asshole that he was, he pissed on the driver's door handle.
Eventually he just punched me in the head. Be right back.
Cracked his neck open, hurt his head real bad.
I kind of put my hands up like this, like, what are you doing?
And I ended up having to call the cops on her because she wouldn't get out, and I was afraid she was going to throw up all over my car.
Let's just say I told him what I was going to do to him if I caught him, because he was already halfway up the block. And let's put it this way, you've never seen a drunk kid run that fast.
It has its goods, it has its bads. There are some students that are here and they're spoiled to the fact that they are being paid for to live in a city and do whatever they want. And there's other people that are working hard while they're here and they're trying to get the education out of the town. So it's really like any other city in the world. You're going to run into people that are better to be around, worse to be around.
Just the fact that they're trying to live like fast-paced lifestyle, they don't really want to waste they're not coming home from work and spending an hour to make, or coming home from school and spending an hour to make a meal. I mean, a lot of them want to come home from class, just get their food, not have to work for it, and just be happy with that.
Like, you know, they'll order food and openly admit, wow, I've never seen this town like this. This is crazy. This is the biggest football game of the year. But then they don't understand why a restaurant that has to serve, you know, can only have so many employees, can only have so many ovens, has to survive in, you know, the way this town normally is, and then they can't understand why their food took an hour and a half when there's an extra 100,000 people in town.
A lot of people just don't think. They think it's magic, that things happen on their own. Nothing happens on their own. There's always somebody to do it, and there's always going to be somebody to work those jobs. So people need to take that into consideration a little bit more. Even adults, some big-time adults don't even get that. So, I mean, I feel like it's pretty important to know. That's what I would say.